Welcome everybody. Welcome to this presentation of the TOP-UIC project of Politecnico, which is a program in cooperation with the University of Illinois at Chicago in the United States. And we'll be presenting a program that's going to be running in the 21-22. We are especially happy about this because of the pandemic, we had to stop the program for a year, for one academic year, and we are very excited and very happy that we are able to restart the program. Myself, I'm this person here, right? So Giuseppe Vecchi is my name, and I'm the coordinator of this program at Politecnico. What I will do is very short. I will use 3 slides. One is this one. And what I will then do is trying to, provided I can, okay, essentially showing where is this program in your curriculum of your master's degree at Politecnico Laurea Magistrale, okay? And then I will actually leave the floor to our colleagues at UIC who have been so kind as to be online here. This is one of the few advantages of what we learned with this pandemic. We can do things online. Okay, so this project, it's located, it's 2 semesters of courses, and it's located between the first and the second year. Okay, so that means that in the first semester, first year of master's degree here, Laurea Magistrale, you'll be at Politecnico, and the standard thing, it does not directly belong to the program itself. And then you'll have the first semester of the program, of this program, TOP-UIC program, which is in fact the second calendar semester of the first year of the master's degree here. All right, so it will be here. It's a specialized semester, and then you will then move on into the United States in Chicago, and so the second semester of the program, which is going to be your 3rd semester of the master's degree, is going to be in Chicago, compulsory, and then the remaining 4th semester, it may be here in Chicago here, depending on a number of things. And then there will be the final discussion, the thesis defense, which is a very important moment, which will then lead to the title of Master of Science at the University of Illinois. And you don't have to redo the thesis defense here. The one that you will do for this program will be just transferred over into your requirements, and you will also get the title at Politecnico. This program, as you will see, is a program that has a cost, and there will be also scholarships offered by Politecnico to partly defray the cost. These and everything else which has to do with the practicalities, deadlines, admission, all these things will be dealt with in a specialized session for those interested in the program, which is the one that you see here, June 17th at 11 a.m. I mean, Italian time, right? So this is, so please make note of this, mark your calendar, and that will be where the practicalities will be discussed. With this, I'm done, and I actually transfer the floor to Professor Uslengi of UIC, University of Illinois at Chicago, who is the program coordinator general. And that's all. And I think that at the end of his talk, another person of UIC, Ms. Jenna Steffens, was on basically on the organization side. We might say a few words. And there is something very important. We have a few people who have participated in this program, okay, and have been so kind as to show up today. I really warmly thank them because it's very important to have this first-hand thing. And we, as much as possible, we'll try to connect you with people who are doing this thing so you can ask all the practical questions, all the questions you don't want me to hear, right? So I really thank these people for being on this meeting today. And that's all. Thank you very much. George, the floor is yours.
Okay.
And I will mute myself. Over.
My name is Pier Giorgio Uslengi, and I am an old graduate of the Politecnico di Torino. I received the Laurea in electrotechnical engineering in 1961. And so it was 60 years ago. And I am in charge of this cooperation between the Politecnico and the University of Illinois at Chicago. I began this initiative exactly 25 years ago. And in the interim period, we have graduated approximately 300 master students. Some of them have returned to Italy to complete their Laurea Magistrale and then follow employment or a doctoral program. Others have remained for the PhD, and some have managed to remain in the United States. My assistant in this is Ms. Jenna Stephens. You see her picture here. Jenna is on the phone today. Her computer does not work, so you will not see her face, but you will become very familiar with her if you join this program, because she will be the one who will shepherd you through all the bureaucratic and other logistical difficulties that you may encounter. So next, please. I would like to say something about the city of Chicago, and about UIC programs, and how to apply. Then I will refer this later on for a few comments to Jenna, and then to the session that Professor Vecchi has announced for June 17. Chicago is the third largest city in the United States. The inner city is about 2.7 million people. With the suburbs, it is a metropolitan area of about 10 million. It is on the shores of Lake Michigan. It has a vibrant cultural, sports, entertainment background. It is the place where the blues and the jazz, together with St. Louis and New Orleans, were created. And it has a lot of cultural facilities, some 300 museums. For example, the Art Institute has the second largest collection of French Impressionists after the Louvre. It has connections to industry in the area. Some of the major corporations in the United States have their headquarters in Chicago. It has connection to two very large federal laboratories, the Argonne National Laboratory and the Fermi National Accelerator Laboratory. Chicago is the seat of some 20 universities. The University of Illinois at Chicago is the premier public university in the city. It is one of the three campuses of the University of Illinois, the other two being in Urbana, and the small campus in the capital of the state in Springfield. Next, please. So you see here some of the names of the companies such as Boeing, Caterpillar, Google, Motorola, etc., which are headquartered in Chicago. We have placed our engineering alumni in important positions in all of these companies. So we have very strong connection with the industrial base in the United States. I wanted to mention also among the cultural activities that the Chicago Symphony Orchestra, rated presumably among the best, if not the best in the world, is conducted by Riccardo Muti, who came to us some 10 years ago from La Scala to conduct the orchestra. Next. In terms of recreation, if you like sports, you can swim. There are a number of swimming pools. I would not advise you to swim in the lake. The lake is very deep and very large, and it can be dangerous. But you can practice baseball or watch, football, basketball, hockey, soccer. You have all of these sports in the city. The campus is located just downtown Chicago, about slightly over 1 kilometer from the very center of town. Next. There are diverse cultures in Chicago. There are all sorts of national communities that have established sort of rioni within the city. For example, the campus is sandwiched between a strong Greek town and a strong Italian town called Little Italy. And within about 2-3 kilometers from the campus, you have a big Chinatown. Next. Okay, these I already mentioned this. If you like bicycling along the lake, you have bicycle trails or where you can walk, which are 50 kilometers long all along the shore of the city. Next. Now, about the University of Illinois at Chicago. It is one of the top 80 institutions in engineering and in general in the United States. The United States has some 4,000 institutions of higher education, universities and community colleges. The top 80 are rated by the Carnegie Foundation in terms of the number of PhD produced every year and on the number of millions of dollars in grants and contracts that the university receives. In the state of Illinois, there are 4 research institutions, 2 public. These are the 2 campuses of the University of Illinois in Urbana and in Chicago, and 2 private, Northwestern University and the University of Chicago. Next. Okay, here you see pictures of the 3 campuses. And next. We are now approaching 35,000 students with about 9,300 faculty and staff members at UIC. UIC used to have 15 colleges. We have just added a law school, so now we have 16 colleges. We have an annual budget of almost $3.5 billion, and our university research budget in terms of grants and contracts received both from the federal government, the state government, and private industry amounts to approximately $410 million per year, which means that there is a strong possibility of financially supporting graduate students in their research. We have the largest medical school in the United States. And as I said, the John Marshall Law School was just joined the university as the 16th college 2 years ago. Next. Now, the College of Engineering has 6 departments. You will be surprised compared to a typical Italian university as the small number of students, but that is because the curriculum proceeds in a completely different way from Italy. There are no appelli. At the end of a course, you have 1 chance to take a final exam, and that's it. So you move very, very quickly through a curriculum. You don't stick around the university for many, many years. We have bachelor degrees, master's degrees, and doctoral degrees, PhDs, in all 6 departments of the College of Engineering. The number of faculties, which is approximately, will surpass 200 this year, is only really half of the faculty teaching in the college, because the other half in ancillary fields such as physics, mathematics, chemistry, etc., come from other colleges in the campus. Among our faculty members, 94 are fellows of professional societies, and we have 44 recipients of the prestigious Career Award by the National Science Foundation. This is an award which exceeds $500,000 given to young assistant professors to help them begin their research career. Next. UIC is very well placed, is ranked number 22 nationwide for the best value, that is the education that you receive compared to the money that you have to spend to receive it. In the world rankings, we ranked number 11 among the best US public universities. And in US News and World Report, we have a global ranking in the world of number 198. The US ranking is number 129, and in engineering, we are number 69. Next. The 6 departments are bioengineering, which was just renamed biomedical engineering. It is a department which is administered jointly by the College of Engineering and the College of Medicine. This is something that is going on more and more in the United States. It was started, this trend, by Stanford University several years ago. Then we have chemical engineering, civil materials and environmental engineering, computer science, electrical and computer engineering, and mechanical and industrial engineering. So we have basically all the areas of engineering, because some of aeronautical engineering is embedded into mechanical engineering, except for nuclear engineering. Next. We have a very large number of laboratories where you can conduct experimental research as part of your master or doctoral thesis, possibly supported by research grants and contracts administered by your advisor. We have also 5 interdisciplinary research centers in the college, and the College of Engineering this year received over $110 million in grants and contracts. So this provides a very strong research opportunity for master students and PhD students. Remember that you have a requirement to complete an original master's thesis if you join this program. This cannot be a compilatory thesis. This must contain original research. And many of the students that we receive from Italian university, notably from the Politecnico di Torino, are among our best students. You come extremely well prepared, and so the chances of you being supported financially by one of our faculty members cannot be guaranteed, but they are very high indeed. Next. We also have some new facilities. The one that you see here on the slides, on the left, the Engineering Innovation Building, houses the Department of Chemical Engineering and portions of the laboratories for civil and mechanical engineering. It opened 2 years ago. We are delayed by 1 year. We were just about to complete the construction without the pandemic. Now we are breaking ground this year for a new computer science building, a very large 5-story building, which will be devoted prevalently to research in the area of artificial intelligence. Next. Among the students that we have had, here you have a picture of 4 Italian students who have won a national prize, a national competition, taking home the grand prize of $10,000 among them. So our students are doing very well, and in fact, some of them have remained in the area and are doing financially and professionally quite well. They have started their own private companies, or they have joined companies such as Google or Boeing, whose headquarters are located in Chicago. Next. Now, what are the benefits of this program in cooperation between UIC and PoliTO? First of all, you save time because you received 2 master's degrees in 2 years, whereas typically it would take you maybe a year and a half or 2 years to receive either the Laurea Magistrale or our master's degree. The second advantage, next, is that with respect to the cost that it would be implied if you were just an isolated international student coming over, you save considerably. For example, in the spring of next year, if you were to join this fall, your first spring would be, as Professor Vecchi will explain to you, at the Politecnico. It will cost you, with courses taught according in English by PoliTO faculty, according to our catalog, it will cost you slightly over $9,000. If you were a regular international student, you would pay over $17,000, almost twice as much. When you come in the first semester year, the cost will be almost $11,000 compared to $17,000 for an international student. And then once you have completed all the courses, if you stay on to complete your thesis, then per semester you register for 0 hour at a cost of about $3,000. And after the first semester in residence, if you stay on and you decide not to return to Italy to complete your thesis, you are almost certainly assured of some support by your department. I would like to point out that what is called international tuition applies to everyone who is not a resident of the state of Illinois. So if you come from neighboring states such as Wisconsin or Indiana, you pay the international tuition. You don't pay the resident tuition. Next. The benefits are that you will have, in terms of student support, a program advisor which is specifically targeted to help students from the Politecnico di Torino. And we also will offer support in terms of curricular practical training and optional practical training. This will be explained later to you by my assistant, Jenna. But curricular practical training is something you can do in the summer while you are still studying, and in internship in local companies, and you get paid for it, and you gain work experience. Optional practical training is regulated by our immigration. It requires for you to stay in residence for 2 semesters consecutively. So you cannot just stay 1 semester, go back to Italy, and then come back. No, you have to stay for 2 semesters, fall and spring here. Then you can qualify for optional practical training, which can be eventually extended beyond the initial 18 months or 2 years. And that will give you an invaluable experience working with some US company. And in many cases, that company, if you intend to remain in the United States, may sponsor you for a green card, a resident permit. The Office of International Services is very well equipped to help you to maneuver your bureaucratic papers in order to either secure optional practical training or remain beyond the master's degree if you wish to pursue a doctoral degree, a PhD degree in Chicago at UIC. Next. At campus life, you will have field trips, you will have theater, you have sport, you will have recreation. One of the most important things, however, is that you will establish probably lifelong friendships and contacts with students from all over the world. We have students at UIC from 100 different countries. And in this global age, where you will not be sure where you will be working for the rest of your life. You may be working in Italy or in France or Germany, Netherlands, the United States, India, Argentina, you don't know. It is very important to have a global vision and to understand not only the scientific and technical part of your curriculum, but also the cultural part of what is happening in other countries in the world. Next. Okay, as I've already mentioned, you will interact with students from about 100 countries. Next. Okay, in terms of you see some of the statistics there. We have 33 students, professional societies. We have a career fair every year in which about 150 companies come to campus to recruit students. We have 4 dedicated counselors to advise you for employment and continuing your studies in computer science and in all areas of engineering. And in the United States and abroad, we have over 400 companies which have hired our students in the past. So we have a very strong network worldwide of alumni of our engineering programs. Next. Here are listed some of the companies where we place students all across the United States, headquarters. Next. Okay, now how to apply. At this point, I will then yield the floor to my assistant, Jenna, who will give you maybe some information on this point. Next. Okay, admission requirements. You must have a bachelor's degree from the field of study or a similar one that you want to follow here at UIC. And on the American grade point average, which is from 0 to 4, you will have to score a 3.0. What does that mean in terms of the grades you will have from an Italian university? There is an equivalency chart. So you would have to have at least a 24 out of 30 in order to qualify for this program. This is a minimum necessary requirement that then the department that will admit you will look at the particular courses you have taken and will decide whether to admit you or not. Then you have to have an English test, either the IELTS or the TOEFL. Now, remember that the IELTS and the TOEFL will not release results beyond 2 years. If you have all the results, we may, in exceptional cases, allow you to come in with a result that is no more than 3 years old. But I would urge you now, if you intend to join this program, and if you don't have a recent proficiency in English, to take an English test immediately, because you have to provide this evidence of competency in English when you submit your application. Next. There are some of the admission program timelines and other information, and I will refer to both Professor Vecchi and my assistant Jenna for details. Next. Okay, you have to be in residence here for at least 1 semester, but I would encourage you to stay for 2 consecutive semesters. Complete all your courses in the first semester and devote the second semester to completing your research thesis. Okay, this will also allow you, as I pointed out previously, to enroll in an optional practical training. Next. Okay, you can learn more and hear student testimonial by visiting our webpage. Well, thank you for listening. I wish you good luck in your profession and in your life, and I hope to see all of you in Chicago in about a year. My assistant Jen and I will probably be able to visit the Politecnico, hopefully this fall, certainly next spring, depending on how the pandemic goes in Europe. We had to suspend our visits for a year, as you know. But I look forward to meeting with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, George. I recall by the way, George, Is Jenna going to say anything here, or?
I'm here, and
Yeah.
I'm happy to just kind of give a quick little hello to everyone.
Thank you.
Yes,
Please go.
ciao to everyone. I joined UIC working on the Italian program in 2019, so just a little over 2 years now, and I love the Italian program, and I take a lot of time and pride into getting to know all of our students. We try to be like a family and a good support system for one another. And so anytime you have any questions or issues, you know, we have that relationship established so that students can feel comfortable to come to me for help when needed. So we do have a couple items to mention quickly about regarding the application deadline. I know that you all would work with PoliTO first to be entered into the TOP-UIC program, and then you apply to us separately after that's been decided. And so I don't know exactly what that deadline is for PoliTO yet, but for us, it's a little bit later to do the online application, but we'll make sure that you have the whole timeline of deadlines and that it's very transparent. And then if there aren't any questions, I'd like to let some of our alumni speak who I hope have joined the call by now. We have, and if you're here, I'm gonna call you out. Tommaso Pizzetti is a computer science alumni from the 2018 group, I believe. He has been in Chicago since he finished his degree. And so we invited him here today to talk a little bit about his path. So go ahead and just share a little bit about your experience, maybe what you thought was the biggest surprise between the difference between Italy and US in terms of the university experience too. So I'll let you go.
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me. As Jenna said, my name is Tommaso. I actually participated to this project a few years back. I came here in 2018 and I graduated from Politecnico Torino in 2019, in October 2019, and from UIC in September 2019. I was part of the computer engineering program in Torino and then computer science here in Chicago. And as Jenna said, I actually followed that path that Professor Uslengi just explained about with optional practical training, and decided to stay here, started to work, found a job, and then I got some sponsorship to remain here. And I've been working here for the past couple of years at this point. Needless to say that I definitely believe this is a huge opportunity in terms of the program. So I strongly encourage everybody to check it out. It's definitely whether you're interested in something like I did, so staying here, you know, after you finish your studies, or whether you're just interested in a life experience or remaining a year and trying out a different culture, different way of teaching, different way of living life in general. It's definitely a huge opportunity that Politecnico and UIC give us. So definitely be sure to check it out. In terms of differences, definitely, especially for teaching, there's a lot of differences in the way the US system compares to the Italian system. Whether those are for the best or for the worst, I'll leave each and every one of you to judge that. But definitely there is a lot of differences in main examples that come to mind, especially in our course for computer science. Here, there is definitely more of an accent on the practical side of things rather than a theoretical side of things. And so you will have maybe less notions that you will do in class, but on the contrary, you will have a lot of laboratories and a lot of projects that you will have to do. And that will count towards your final exams, which, you know, it happens as well in a lot of courses now in Politecnico, or at least it used to be when I was there. But definitely here it's much more of a usual practice. And also for the thesis part, there's definitely a difference. As Professor Uslengi mentioned before, you have to do some original research here. It cannot be just some sort of project, and that can be, you know, can be a little bit difficult to do. But there is a lot of help, and professors are very eager to get Italian students to collaborate with them. So there are a lot of interesting opportunities for that. Yeah, that being said, I definitely encourage anybody that might have any questions to reach out to me, either here or even afterwards. I'll be very happy to try and answer anything that I can. And yeah, good luck to everybody. And thank you for inviting me again.
Thank you, Tommaso. Would you mind maybe putting your email address in the chat function for everyone?
Absolutely. I will do that.
That way they can reach out to you if they have specific questions. Thank you. Let's move on to Mateo Mercury. He is a mechanical and industrial engineering student. He arrived last August of 2020 in the heat of the craziness, and is just about to finish up the thesis. Mateo, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Hello, ciao. Hi, Jenna.
Hi. Go ahead.
So basically, yes, as Jenna said, I came here in August 2020, and even though COVID was like everywhere, but I think it was worth it because the experience is amazing. Right now, I'm in Italy, and I have to graduate. I will come back to the States in a couple of months because I still have to graduate in August, and then I already started the application for the OPT, the thing that Jenna said before. So that gives you the opportunity to start to work in the States. And that was the main goal when I applied for the project. My goal was to study 1 year in the States, not give up my degree, my Italian degree. So I received both the Italian degree and the United States degree, but I get the opportunity to start working in the States. And I think it's a land of opportunity. There is a lot to learn. As Tommaso said before, they give you a different point of view on the world and on study and on everything. They have a way more practical point of view rather than Politecnico, that is a little bit more theoretical. So I really encourage you to apply for this project. If you have any questions that you might have for housing, for exams that you want to take, I will put my email after. Just ask me, ask Tommaso, ask whoever. We all know each other, and we are really more than welcome to help you and do whatever we can to help the process, basically. Yeah.
Thanks, Mateo. How would you say you experienced with doing the exams and only having one chance? Did you feel prepared for that, or what was that like?
Yeah, it's not so scary. So the fact that you have only one chance, so I just want to tell all the students, it's not scary because during the year you take assignments, homeworks, and so you build up your grade during the year. You have like maybe 10% for the homeworks, and every week you just do your job, and it's really easy. It's not that difficult, and you build up your grade. So at the end, the final exam is just to decide your final grade. Really, in rare situation, the final exam will determine whether you pass or not the exam. So it's a different way of studying. Like at Politecnico, you just learn, and then study the last month, even though you're not supposed to. But but it's a different way. I actually, I really liked it. I didn't have any difficulty, but I think if you just study the right amount every week, you build up your grade, and you don't arrive at the last exam prepared and everything. Yeah, it's not so difficult.
Thank you. And I should probably also add that Mateo was sort of the unofficial social coordinator of the group this year. Even though classes were remote, that allowed the opportunity for the students to do quite a bit of traveling this year, and they went all over. I am very jealous of everything that they did. So they definitely made the most of it. So, and then finally, I think we have Alberto Scancienza. He is
Yeah.
from the Electrical and Computer Engineering Department.
Hi, Jenna.
Hi, I'll
Thank
both
you so
of
much for
Hi.
inviting me in this webinar. As Jenna told, I'm currently a student in the electrical and computer engineering. I was studying mechatronic engineering in Italy because the electrical and computer engineering here in the United States is a very big department. It has different paths. So one more related to the electronical path, another one more to the controls, for example, the one that I studied in mechatronic, and another path that is very similar to the computer science. So it's like more about, for example, machine learning, data science, and all the things related to that. In this moment, I'm here in Chicago. I'm finishing my thesis on drones. And here you have the opportunity to do a very challenging thesis because there are a lot of laboratories. You can also apply for scholarship, and so don't be scared about the cost of the program because you can get a lot of scholarship. In the end, you are not going to pay so much as the amount of money at the beginning seems, but the experience is unique. I arrived here in Chicago in August 2020 with Mateo and a lot of other guys. And we did so many things. We explored the city, all the United States, as Jenna said, and we had the opportunity to join the Italian community. Here in Chicago, we are there are so many people from PoliTO. For example, Tommaso is 2 years older than us, but we did, for example, aperitivi or dinner or social events with them and with all the other guys. Of course, I think that in this moment you have a lot of questions, a lot of, I don't know, probably problems to say, oh, don't worry. Jenna, try everything to do in order to accommodate you. So please reach to us and ask whatever question do you have. And yes, as Matteo and also Tommaso said, I'm going to apply to OPT because I think that one of the most one of the best things that this program gives to you is the possibility, because it's not it's just a possibility. If you want, you can take it. If you don't want, you can go back to Italy, but you can apply for OPT and then you can work in the United States. In this moment, it's very difficult to work in the United States without a visa. And I think that this is one of the unique program in Italy that give you this possibility. Of course, if you want to go back to Italy, you have a very strong resume with this experience because you are studying in the United States, and all other mates that went with us had a lot of opportunity also in the European and the Italian market. So please join the program, and we will see in Chicago.
Thanks, Alberto. All of you did such a great job of sharing. Thank you. And just to kind of add a second reminder, to be eligible for OPT, to stay and work in the USA, you must be here for 2 consecutive semesters. So that fall semester and then the following spring semester is what qualifies you to apply for OPT. So, and then we also have the Office of International Services, which we all call OIS, and they are available to help out with any kind of immigration questions. I'm sure all of the alumni here today, we constantly email them all the time to ask questions. How does this work? And, you know, when things were kind of changing through the pandemic, and even now, just, you know, making sure somebody is looking out for you and is able to guide you so that you can do everything correctly and in the right time frame. And then we also have a career center, which is specifically for the College of Engineering, and they are very helpful also. They will meet with you in person or remotely to go over your CV, to help prepare you for interviews and how to even do a job search. So you're very well supported within the College of Engineering on all fronts. And so we have, I think, a couple minutes if there were any questions. I can't see the chat, so if there are questions in the chat, could somebody read them out loud or just go ahead and unmute yourself to ask a question while we have a few minutes left.
Jenna, we have Federico Brunero as well with us. Maybe he's an previous student. He can share his ideas as well.
Yeah, since the last one is going to be difficult to add something different from what the other guys already said. So, but yeah, if you want, I can also totally confirm what the other guys said. So it is, it is really a life experience, I would say. So differently from many colleagues, I decided to come here to Europe to continue with a PhD. Currently, I'm at Eurocom in France, but I would say that, yeah, the experience in Chicago really changed my life. It changed the way I see at opportunities now. So I would strongly encourage this opportunity, especially to those people that maybe, I don't know, are not used to go out from their comfort zone like I'm actually used to. It's really difficult for me to go out from my comfort zone, and really going to Chicago in a so distant place with respect to Italy, to my family, with a different also time zone, was really from a life point of view, it was really a good experience to grow up, to learn, to meet new people, and really understanding that there is also the possibility really to stay in the United States if you want to work, or otherwise if you want to come back to Europe. As soon as you go outside Italy, you understand that, I don't know, working outside Italy could be also a good opportunity if you're looking for different opportunities around Europe. So really, I would say that also if you go over all the difficulties that are going to be present in the process, but as already everybody else has already said, you're going to be totally supported by Jana and their team. If you go over the exams, really, you're going to live a really full life experience that will change the way you approach your future. So I would say that totally you should do that. And yeah, so I will leave also my email if you want to know something more. But also all the other guys already said what I could have been said. So that's it.
No, thank you, Federico. I'm sorry I didn't call on you. I couldn't.
No, don't worry. It was at really last moment, so I managed to join in the end.
So great. I think you brought up something really important, though, Federico. The education, you're going to get a great education from PoliTO and from UIC. But what is even more meaningful, I think, as an international student myself when I was in university, is this is a great opportunity for character building. You're going to learn more about how strong you really are. You're going to have to do more critical thinking and problem solving. And you are going to be around so many different kinds of people that I think it's hopefully going to teach you a little more about compassion. And especially after this year, I think we all probably got a good lesson in that. But, these are qualities that are going to help make you really attractive candidates when you apply for a job anywhere. It's almost just as important as who you are as a person as what the degree on the paper is. So, I think there's a lot of value in that, and I hope that you will all consider how valuable that is as well when you're deciding on a program. Were there any other questions in the chat, or did anyone have any questions that they'd like to vocally ask?
Well, Jenna, there's been a few questions over the chat, and I think we answered most of it. So I think that, well, let me just review them quickly. But I would like to remind everyone that these specific webinar was oriented towards presenting the program in itself. There will be a specific meeting on the practicalities, so which basically where all the questions you ask will be answered, right? And that's going to be I don't have, let me see if I can pull up my slide again, right? But it's basically,
I think it was June 17.
June 17, right? So
Yeah.
June 17, mark your calendar, June 17, 11 a.m., right? So that's the time. And I think you will get an invitation somehow from our office. That's where we will address all the practicalities. Who can apply? What are the requirements? The English test degrees, the deadlines. I mean, all of that. I mean, all the practicalities for actually submitting a successful application, right? So here was more on the side of showing what is the program, what are the general aim, and what has been the experience. And once again, I would like to be, I mean, I'm so grateful to the people who, I mean, to the students and alumni that have, you know, dedicated their time for these specific things, for talking to the prospective applicant. And so that was one of the big things that we were trying to put across in this specific meeting. And again, on June 17, I mean, you know, we had some answering on the question you type up in the chat, but all the practicalities will actually be dealt with in the meeting of June 17.
Perfect. And we're also exploring the idea of having some of the UIC faculty from specific departments having another call in a few weeks to talk more about research areas and other specific department things, if you would all be interested in that. And so that would be information that will be shared in the near future.
Okay, great. One question was about the slides, whether it is possible to have your slides, George and Jenna.
Oh,
Yes.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah, Jenna will send you all the slides. Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
Right, so
We
we'll
can do
make those
that. And
available.
we're recording the presentation, so we could potentially share that as well.
Yeah, okay. More questions are coming, like how much you're going to spend and all these things. I would actually delay all these practical questions to the meeting that we'll have on the 17th. And we have some estimates, and then as our current students and alumni have been so kind as to provide you with their email contacts, you can actually have a double check on them. Costs, I mean, like living costs might be very different from place to place, but you know, so you'll have a practical answer from the people who are actually living now in Chicago, and they will tell you what you can do. There are different options. Okay, so this is something that you can actually ask directly to them, and then we will address all this in the coming meeting or webinar. Okay, June 17th.
Sounds great. And I would also, I guess, maybe just add as one last just comment that there are just as many ladies in the program as there is guys. It just happened that the ones that could participate today were all guys. So we do have a strong presence from girls as well in the program. So if anyone is interested in speaking with alumni that are girls, you can just reach out to me and I can connect you as well.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jenna. That's also very important, a very important remark. In the first place, because of Politecnico, as at USC, we are really working hard on gender balance. But there is actually, you know, except for the usual unbalance of engineering courses, but there is a, you know, that's very much gender balance, and I'm sure that female will have exactly the same opportunities as the others. So someone was asking, possibly the chat is not, someone saying, can you habilitate a chat so we get contact information? It might be different privileges, I don't know. So apparently not everybody got the email addresses that of current students and alumni that were probably in a different type of chat. So I don't know whether
I
that
think
can be met.
I think that it was just me. So now I should have
All right.
shared the correct
Okay.
one.
Great, great. So I think everybody has got your coordinates, right? Okay. So if there are no other questions at the general level, again, a practical question will be dealt with in the next meeting.
Can I say something better?
Sure, I was actually
Yeah,
saying I will give the floor to Francesca.
To everybody, because we are just preparing the call, the political. As you know, the selection process has two steps. One is PoliTO side, and then the other is UIC side. All the details from PoliTO side will be in the call that is going to be presented, as you said, on Thursday, the 17th. So now it's okay, and there all the amount of the scholarships and whatever. There are other questions that are in the chat. Let's say the cost of living is a question where alumni can answer better than me. First of all, because I've never lived in the US, of course, unfortunately. But the other one is that the alumni, and thanks so much, guys, for being here, because your you're being testimonial here. It's very helpful to understand the real impact of the program in your lives. So to all the participants, write to the email from alumni asking these particular questions that are from the peer-to-peer, let's say. Okay, but as for the call, and we are going to present it for the first time next week, but then by the assistenza ticketing, and we are planning again specific, as Jenna said, specific present webinar dedicated to each branch, let's say, or each topic of the program. But again, we are planning to make other webinar dedicated for presentation requests or to go in deeply. So okay, for any other, we have any other question not concerning the alumni or whatever. Let's see on Thursday next then. Okay. And thanks, Jenna, for supporting us, and then Professor Oslengi again, because you're working with you and seeing you again, working with you again is a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, same on our side.
Difficult here, and
thank you, Francesca. It's been very nice working with you, and I look forward to coming and visiting you, and finally
visit in person, yes, please.
Yes, come back in person and bring Jenna along so you can see her face to face and work directly with her. She is a wonderful asset to the program. So. All right, thank you all very much, and we will be in touch.
Okay.
All right, so I think that unless I missed anything, this actually brings the webinar, the meeting, to an end. Thank you very much to all who participated and expressed interest in this thing. You will have the slides that have been presented available. And so please be in touch, and please show up for the practical meeting that's going to be June 17th, is going to be like in 10 days, 7 days from now, 1 week from now, right? And that's all for everybody. Thank you very much, Jenna. Thank you very much, George.
Grazie a
Thank
tutti.
you.
Grazie.
And so,
grazie mille ragazzi
bye bye.
per la partecipazione. Ciao a tutti, arrivederci.